Welcome back guys. Now in this video let's discuss about pancreas. Pancreas, its enzymes and digestion inside the intestines. First of all, see, pancreas is going to produce pancreatic juices. We all know these pancreatic juices contain enzymes. This is the exocrine function of pancreas. Okay, pancreas have endocrine function. We know pancreas endocrine function is production of the hormones. Not only the hormones, the pancreas will also produce the enzymes for the digestion of food. So what are the pancreatic enzymes? See, pancreatic enzymes include pancreatic amylase. Okay, pancreatic amylase. Okay, which helps in digestion of the carbohydrates. So pancreatic amylase digests the carbohydrates. Now, these pancreatic enzymes also consist of trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidase. All these are the proteases. They help in digestion of the proteins. And pancreatic lipase and 𝐒𝐫𝐢𝐜𝐫𝐷. Very important point is about the 𝐒𝐿ipase. Just remember, 𝐒𝐿ipase is a pancreatic lipase. It is coming from the pancreas. Okay, so pancreatic lipase and 𝐒𝐿ipase, these substances are produced from the pancreas, which help in the digestion of the lipids. So carbohydrate digestion is happening, protein digestion is happening, as well as lipids are also getting digested. Okay, so all substances, all the macromolecules, proteins, carbohydrates, fats are getting digested from the pancreas. Remember, in saliva there are no enzymes for protein digestion. In stomach, okay, in stomach there is no enzymes for carbohydrate digestion, but pancreas have all the enzymes for digestion, all the enzymes for digestion of carbohydrates, proteins as well as fats. So I used to remember like pancreas for pan means everything, like in a pan Indian movie, something kind of. Okay, pan means everything, it digests everything. Okay, now see, these pancreatic proteases like trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, they are produced in inactive form. Okay, these are called as zymogens. Okay, zymogens are inactive enzymes. Now, why they are produced in inactive form? Why? Because, see, for example, think logically. If these enzymes, these are the proteases, right? If these enzymes are produced in pancreas in active form, if they are produced in active form, what happens? Now, there in pancreas itself, okay, the pancreas itself will be digested away. So, this is something called as auto-digestion of pancreas. For example, if the pancreatic proteases, if they are produced there in active form, what they will do? They will cause auto-digestion of the pancreas. So, to prevent this auto-digestion, all these enzymes, these zymogens are produced in inactive form. Okay, zymogens are produced in inactive form. So, why the pancreatic enzymes are produced in inactive form? To prevent the auto-digestion of the pancreas. Okay. Now, see the trypsinogen, this is trypsinogen. Now, the trypsinogen is converted into trypsin. Trypsinogen is converting into trypsin. Okay, trypsinogen is converted into trypsin with the help of, see, trypsinogen is an inactive form, trypsin is an active form. With the help of 𝐒𝐾 for enterokinase. Later we will discuss about the enterokinase, but anyway, so enterokinase is helps in conversion of trypsinogen into trypsin. But remember, pepsinogen is converted into pepsin. Okay, pepsinogen is converted into pepsin with the help of HCl, acid in the stomach. Okay, now pancreatic secretions are usually isotonic in nature. Okay, pancreatic secretions, they are isotonic to the blood plasma. Now let's talk about two important hormones. Okay, two important hormones which are coming from the duodenum. Okay, now we are discussing about the digestion inside the intestines. Now the first part of intestine is what? Duodenum. Okay, now this duodenum, it have which cells? See, let me put it this way. Okay, here is your esophagus and here is the stomach, here is the duodenum. Okay, here is the duodenum, and here will be there, here will be pancreas will be there. Okay, I am just showing you the pancreas out of shape, like in a small way. But anyway, now here is duodenum. Now this duodenum, it have two cells. The two important types of cells are present in the duodenum. What are the name of the cells? One of the cell is called as a S cell. Okay, one of the cell is called as a S cell, and other cell is called as a I cell. See, this is S cell and here is the I cell. Okay, now duodenum have which cells? S cell and I cell. Okay, now let's start with the S cells. Okay, let's start with the S cells. Think like this. Now food is getting digested. Okay, food is getting digested. Now this food in the stomach is going to mix with acid. The food in the stomach is going to mix with the acid. So acidic chyme. Now whenever this acidic chyme is there in the stomach, okay, now this acidic chyme is digested, like it's partially digested. Now this partially digested food chyme is going to enter into the duodenum. Now this acidic food, now it is getting entering into the duodenum. Now we all know that acid can damage the duodenum. So what should happen? Now this acid or the acidic chyme, okay, now this acid rich food, whenever it is coming into the duodenum, usually at a time there won't be like, gastric emptying. Gastric emptying doesn't happen like at a time. Okay, little by little food enters into the duodenum, little by little. So when food enters into the duodenum, little amount of acidic chyme is entering into the duodenum. What will happen? Now it is going to stimulate S cells. Okay, S cells are stimulated. Okay, no doubt S cells are stimulated. Now this S cells under the influence of acidic chyme is going to release one hormone which is called as a secretin. Okay, it's going to release secretin. Okay, so it's going to release secretin. Now what this secretin is going to do via blood? The secretin is going to come and act on the pancreas. Okay, via blood it will come and act on the pancreas. Now under the influence of secretin, now pancreas, what it will do? Now pancreas is going to release. The pancreas is actually in connection with the duodenum. Okay, the pancreatic duct is going to open into the duodenum. So now what is happening? Now these cells are activated. Secretin is produced. Now the secretin is going to come to the pancreas. Now it will activate the pancreas. Now what pancreas will do? See, think logically. Acid is coming. Okay, acid is coming from the stomach. Now what does pancreas have to do? Pancreas have to release the alkaline substance. Now under the influence of secretin, secretin is nature's antacid, guys, remember. Now under the influence of secretin, pancreas will release alkaline pancreatic juices. Okay, alkaline rich pancreatic juices are released. Now this alkaline rich pancreatic juices, what they will do? They will neutralize the coming acid. So it's very simple. Now let's start. Duodenum, it have its cells, S cells and I cells. Forget about the I cells, we'll discuss about the I cells in a minute. Now let's talk about the S cells. Now, what is the stimulus for the S cell? Sir, whenever acidic chyme enters into the duodenum, it's going to stimulate the S cell. Now what S cell will produce? S cell is going to produce a hormone called as secretin, sir. The first hormone discovered in the humans, secretin. It's a nature's antacid. Now where exactly the secretin is going to act? Now secretin, it's going to act on the pancreas. Now under the influence of secretin, what pancreas will do? Now see, pancreas is going to release the pancreatic juices rich in bicarbonates. Why? Because this bicarbonates will help in acid neutralization. So acid will be neutralized in the duodenum, so that acid won't damage the duodenal mucosa and there won't be any duodenal ulcers. Okay, simple, easy peasy. Now let's discuss about the I cells. Okay, now let's discuss about this part. Okay, it is a little more complicated, but let's try to understand as simple as possible. Okay, now imagine that you are eating fats. Okay, you are eating a cheesy pizza. Okay, so now these fats are coming into your stomach. Okay, now the fats are getting digested. Fatty acids are getting released. Okay, now this fat rich food. Now this fat rich food is going to enter where? Now this fat rich food is going to enter into the duodenum. Okay, properly the entire fats are not getting digested. You have the fat rich food. Now this fat rich food is going to enter into the duodenum. Now this fat rich food is going to stimulate I cells. Okay, I cells are getting stimulus from where? Fat rich food. See, the fat rich food is going to stimulate the I cells. So now what these I cells will do? Think logically. Fat rich food is coming, you need to digest the fats. Okay, you need to digest the fats. So if you want to digest the fats, like first you need to release the bile. Why? Because bile helps in emulsification process. Bile helps in digestion of the fats. So now what happens is this I cells, okay, these I cells, they will release a hormone called as cholecystokinin. Okay, they will release a hormone called as cholecystokinin pancreasomin. Okay, cholecystokinin pancreasomin. Now these I cells, they are releasing hormone cholecystokinin pancreasomin. Now what this cholecystokinin pancreasomin will do? First let's discuss about one area. Now this cholecystokinin is going to act on the gallbladder. So gallbladder is going to get contracted. Now contraction of gallbladder will release the bile. So bile will come into the duodenum. Okay, so bile duct will open somewhere over here. Now bile will come into the duodenum, helps in digestion of fats. Not only that, see, cholecystokinin pancreasomin. Now this cholecystokinin pancreasomin not only acts on the gallbladder, but it also acts on the pancreas. It can also act on the pancreas. Now under the influence of cholecystokinin pancreasomin, okay, under the influence of cholecystokinin pancreasomin, now this pancreas, okay, now this pancreas is going to produce pancreatic juices rich in digestive enzymes. So these digestive enzymes now are going to digest the food, okay, the fat rich food, especially the lipases, okay, colipase, pancreatic lipase. So what I am trying to put to your mind is, see here, the fat rich food, see, not only the fat rich food, even the acid, even the amino acids will also stimulate the I cells, but major stimulation is coming from the fat rich food, okay, fat rich food. Now these fats are going to stimulate the I cells. Now I cells, what they will produce? They will produce a hormone called as cholecystokinin pancreasomin. Now this cholecystokinin pancreasomin, where it will act? It will act on the gallbladder, causes contraction of the gallbladder. Whenever the gallbladder is getting contracted, it will release the bile. What bile will do? Bile will help in emulsification of fats, helps in fat digestion. Not only that, this cholecystokinin pancreasomin, it also acts on the pancreas, sir. Now under the influence of cholecystokinin pancreasomin, see, pancreas, it will release the pancreatic juices which are rich in digestive enzymes. So that digestive enzymes will try to digest the food. So these are some important points regarding the SSL, secretin, I cell, cholecystokinin, pancreasomin. So this is how cholecystokinin and pancreasomin and the secretin will do their functions. Okay. Now after this, let's discuss about the GI hormones. Okay, let's discuss about the GI hormones and let's wrap it up all the three important hormones which we have discussed already. The GI hormones are mainly divided into two families. Okay, what are the two important families? One is the gastrin family, other is the secretin family. One is gastrin family and secretin family. Even from the beginning I am saying you, see, the gastrin which is from the G cells, gastrin from the G cells uses which receptor? See, on the parietal cell there is a receptor for gastrin, that's the cholecystokinin B receptor. Okay, so gastrin and cholecystokinin, they are coming under one family. Why? Because they use the same receptor. Okay, same mechanism of action, same things. So gastrin and cholecystokinin, they belong to one family which is gastrin family. And secretin, vasoactive intestinal peptide, glucagon-like peptide, all these are coming under secretin family. VIP, GLP, GIP, VIP, all these are coming under secretin family. So in one of the exams this question was asked. So under gastrin family who are there? Gastrin and cholecystokinin. Okay, gastrin and cholecystokinin are coming under gastrin family. Now let's discuss about all these three hormones, important hormones. Okay, you already know it, but anyway, first hormone we are going to discuss is the cholecystokinin. Okay, cholecystokinin. Now tell me, cholecystokinin is produced by which cells? Cholecystokinin is produced by I cells, we already know. Cholecystokinin is under which family? Cholecystokinin is under gastrin family. Okay, cholecystokinin is gastrin family. Now cholecystokinin uses which receptor? Cholecystokinin acts on CCK A receptor, but gastrin acts on CCK B receptor. Remember that point. Okay, so now what are the functions of the cholecystokinin? See, cholecystokinin, pancreasomin, it acts on the gallbladder as well as it acts on the pancreas. See, when it is acting on the gallbladder, it acts like a cholagogue. It acts like a cholagogue which causes the contraction of gallbladder. So functions are contraction of the gallbladder. That's why this cholecystokinin is called as a cholagogue. Anything which causes the contraction of gallbladder is called as a cholagogue. Okay. Not only that, it helps in pancreatic enzyme secretion, and that too we know. Now the pancreatic juices are going to be rich in enzymes. Okay, pancreatic juices are rich in enzymes. Okay, that's the second function. And not only that, see this pancreatic duct. Okay, the pancreatic duct is going to enter into the duodenum. Okay, the pancreatic duct. See, normally here will be the pancreatic duct. Now this pancreatic duct usually, the pancreatic duct usually opens into the duodenum. And the sphincter which is called as, the name of the sphincter is called as the sphincter of Oddi. Okay, the sphincter of Oddi. Now the relaxation of the sphincter of Oddi is also done by this cholecystokinin. Okay, cholecystokinin causes the relaxation of sphincter of Oddi. So these are the three important functions of the cholecystokinin. Okay, done. Now, what are the other important actions which I want you to know is, see, other actions. See, it augments the action of secretin. See, remember, cholecystokinin, look at here. See, this cholecystokinin is coming from the I cell. Secretin is coming from the S cell. Okay, secretin is coming from the S cell, cholecystokinin is coming from the I cell. See, I used to remember something like they are living in one neighborhood. Okay, they are just living side by side. One neighborhood. If you are living in one neighborhood, you will become good friends. Okay, good friends. Okay, of course. See, this is different family, this is different family. Secretin is different family, cholecystokinin is different family. Okay, see, secretin is different family, cholecystokinin is different family. But you guys are good friends. Okay, you guys are good friends. Now, when you are good friends, you try to do the same things. Okay, same things. So, what I am trying to put in your mind is, see here, this cholecystokinin, it augments the action of secretin. Okay, what is that, what is that action? See, both this secretin and cholecystokinin, they will inhibit the gastric emptying. You already know what is gastric emptying. Gastric emptying means the food entry from the stomach into the duodenum. Okay, the entry of food from the stomach into the duodenum. Now, all these guys, secretin and this cholecystokinin, they are just like a gatekeepers. Okay, they are just like gatekeepers. Now they will close the gate. They don't allow the food at a time. Okay, they don't allow the movement of food from the stomach into the duodenum at a time. Why? Because that's something not good. Okay, why? Because if all the acid comes into the duodenum at a time, that acid might damage. Okay, that acid might damage the duodenum, or if all the food comes into the duodenum at a time, that will cause spike in the blood glucose levels. Okay, spike in the blood glucose levels. That's definitely not desired. Okay, so what are the other actions of cholecystokinin? Yes, cholecystokinin acts along with the secretin, inhibits the gastric emptying. Very important points, guys. Very important point. Okay, it inhibits the gastric emptying. And what are the stimulus for cholecystokinin? One stimulus I have already taught you. So fat-rich food is going to stimulate the I cells. Okay, fat-rich food is going to stimulate the I cells. So same thing, fatty acids. Okay, not only fatty acids, already said to you, not only fatty acids, even amino acids. Okay, even amino acids and even peptides, they will also stimulate the cholecystokinin. Okay, they will also stimulate the cholecystokinin. Okay, now after cholecystokinin, let's discuss about the secretin. Okay, let's discuss about the secretin. So secretin, what are the important points? See, secretin is coming from the S cells, no doubt. From beginning I am teaching you, secretin is the first hormone discovered in the humans. It's the nature's antacid. Now what is secretin doing? Secretin is going to act on the pancreas. Okay, it's going to act on the pancreas, makes the pancreatic juices rich in bicarbonate, so that this bicarbonate will neutralize the acid. Okay, neutralize the acid. So secretin is anti-acid. So all the time anti-acid. So what happens? See, gastric acid secretion decreases. So with the help of secretin, Okay, with the help of secretin, gastric acid production will also be decreased. Okay, an important point is cholecystokinin and secretin, they are friends. They are friends. So what of them they are doing? They are just like a gatekeepers. What they are doing? They inhibit the gastric emptying. And what is the stimulus for the secretin? The stimulus for secretin, not cholecystokinin, the stimulus for the secretin is products of protein digestion. Okay, the products of protein digestion, and especially I should say the acidic chyme. Okay, so already I have taught you. So acidic chyme, these acids will stimulate the S cells to release the secretin. Not only the acids, also remember the peptides, like the amino acids will also stimulate the S cells to release secretin. Now after that, let's discuss about the gastrin phyllo. So gastrin is coming from which cell? Gastrin is coming from the G cell, don't forget. Okay, gastrin is coming from the G cell. Okay, now when gastrin will be produced, already discussed. Now whenever there is a distension of the stomach will release the gastrin. Not only that, even peptides, amino acids, especially like phenylalanine and tryptophan. Phenylalanine, tryptophan, like in amino acids, even distension of the stomach. Okay, and gastric releasing peptide, GRP, and calcium, epinephrine, all this. Okay, all the substances will increase the levels of gastrin. Okay, will increase the levels of gastrin. But when the gastrin production will be decreased, see, the gastrin production will be decreased. Okay, so by acid, the gastrin production is going to be decreased by acid. See, gastrin helps in production of acid. When you have enough amount of acid, this acid will give negative feedback to the gastrin. Okay, so stimulus that decreases the gastrin secretion is acid. So acid is a negative feedback. Acid is giving negative feedback for the gastrin. So gastrin levels will go down. Okay, and somatostatin we know. Somatostatin decreases every secretion. Somatostatin decreases the acid, true. And secretin, what is secretin? Antacid. Okay, secretin is an antacid. So whenever there is secretin inhibits the gastrin release. Whenever gastrin goes down, automatically acid production goes down. Okay, and gastric inhibitory peptide, vasoactive intestinal peptide, glucagon, calcitonin, all these are also the substances which will decrease the gastrin. Not that important. Important points which I want you to know is that this gastrin secretion is decreased by acid. Okay, and secretin, acid, secretin, and somatostatin. Okay, now let's see the functions of the gastrin. We know the gastrin, what it will do? Gastrin, okay, stimulates the gastric acid production, from the parietal cells. Not only that, gastrin will stimulate these parietal cells to release also the pepsinogen. Okay, pepsinogen. Okay, so stimulates the gastric acid as well as the pepsinogen. Pepsinogen will be converted into pepsin. Pepsin helps in digestion of proteins. Okay, you already know that. Now, this gastrin, it stimulates the growth of mucosa. It will on trophic action. Okay, gastrin will also help in production of the mucus. Okay guys, we have discussed the three important GI hormones. Okay, gastric hormones and their families. Hope the video is helpful. Thank you.